Hello students, today we will start a new chapter, that is nitric acid. This is a subtopic of chapter named Study of Compounds. This lecture is presented by me, Bened Ghatak, your chemistry teacher. So let's begin. As you all can see from the heading itself, today's topic will be the physical properties of nitric acid. This is not only the physical properties, we will discuss also the introductory lesson of nitric acid. Okay, so let's begin. So what is nitric acid? Nitric acid with the chemical formula HNO3. It is usually known as strong acid. Okay, so the chemical formula of nitric acid is, as you know, it will be HNO3. Okay, and it acts as a strong oxidizing agent as well. Okay, it is also used as a strong oxidizing agent. But as nitric acid is a strong acid, it will also behave as a strong acid, similar to HCl and H2SO4. Okay, so nitric acid, the chemical formula of nitric acid is HNO3. It is a strong acid, but it also behaves as a strong oxidizing agent. Okay, so let's move to the next slide. As you know, any compound, almost all the compounds have two properties, that is the physical properties and other is chemical properties. The physical property deals with the outer structure and outer behavioral changes of a molecule, but the chemical properties does contain all the reactions that the chemical undergo. Okay, here in the case of HNO3, it also deals with two properties, that is physical properties and chemical properties. In this class we are going to discuss about the physical properties only. Okay, in the next class, after the puja vacation is end, then we will start the chemical properties as well. Okay, so today's we will only discuss about the physical properties. Okay, so what are the physical properties of HNO3? As you know, HNO3 is usually a fuming liquid. As it is a fuming liquid, why it is a fuming liquid? Because it is highly volatile liquid. Okay, it is highly volatile liquid, that is why it is behaves as a fuming liquid, means it always evaporate some amount of liquid, some amount of HNO3 in a gaseous form. Okay, that is why it is being observed as a fuming liquid. Okay, number 2, it is freely miscible with water. As you know, water, that is H2O, H2 is a polar molecule. H2O is a polar molecule. H2 is a polar molecule. Similarly, HNO3 is also a polar molecule. HNO3 is also a polar molecule. That is why both of the molecules, as both of the molecules are polar, that is why they are highly miscible. Okay, but if HNO3 is non-polar, if the HNO3 is non-polar, then it will not miscible with water. Okay, remember, polar dissolve with polar, non-polar dissolves with non-polar. Here water as well as HNO3 both are polar molecules, that is why they are highly miscible with each other. Okay, here you have to remember this phrase, like dissolves like dissolves like, means polar molecule dissolve in the polar solvent or polar molecule dissolves in polar molecule, and in other words we can say that non-polar molecule dissolve in the non-polar solvent. Okay, here in the case of HNO3 is polar and H2O, that is water, is also a polar. So here the like dissolves like, that is both of them are polar, that is why they will dissolve each other and they will be miscible. Okay, they will form a miscible solution as well. Okay, that is why HNO3 being a polar and H2 is also a polar, that is why they are miscible with each other. Okay, so it fuses to a snow white solid. When it fuses at minus 46 degrees Celsius, it will form a snow white solid. Okay, so whenever HNO3, that is nitric acid, is being fuses at minus 46 degrees Celsius, it will form a snow white solid. Okay, I have already discussed, it is a colorless volatile solid and it has a pungent smell. Okay, due to the smell it is very much detectable as well. Okay, and its specific gravity is 1.53 at 15 degrees Celsius, at 15 degrees Celsius. So specific gravity of HNO3 is 1.53 at 15 degrees Celsius. Okay, so this is the mainly the physical properties of HNO3. Okay, next move to the different types of nitric acid depending upon their properties as well as concentration. Okay, we have mainly three types of nitric acid. Number 1, fuming nitric acid. Number 2, concentrated nitric acid, and number 3, ordinary strong nitric acid. Here there is a spelling mistake, you can always see that. Okay, other than that it is good. Okay, so there is, I have written 2 times nitric. Okay, so one will be cut out. Okay, so just zoom it. Okay, the first one is fuming nitric acid. So it is a red liquid made by bubbling NO2 gas through concentrated HNO3. Okay, so it is a red liquid bubbling NO2 gas in concentrated HNO3. So whenever we add NO2 in HNO3 solution, concentrated HNO3 solution, we will then get the fuming nitric acid. So whenever we add NO2, bubbling NO2 gas in concentrated HNO3, then we will get the fuming nitric acid solution. Okay, the second one is concentrated nitric acid. So what is concentrated nitric acid? It has a density of 1.5 and the containing 98% HNO3. So in the case of percentage of concentrated nitric acid, it will be 98%. Okay, and the density of 1.5. Okay, so it will have a density of 1.5 and it will containing 98% of HNO3. So this is called a concentrated nitric acid. And the last term will be ordinary strong nitric acid. So we have three type of nitric acid. Is fuming nitric acid. Fuming nitric acid is being prepared by adding bubbling NO2 gas in HNO3. In the second case, the concentrated nitric acid, it is a strong HNO3 which has contained 98% of HNO3 and it has a density of 1.5. And the last one is ordinary strong nitric acid, that is the density, it has a density of 1.4, less than the concentrated nitric acid. It has the density of 1.4 and containing 65% of HNO3. So whenever we reduce the percentage of HNO3, it will also decrease the density of the nitric acid as well. Okay, so in the case of concentrated nitric acid, the density will be 1.5 and the containing 98% HNO3. In the case of ordinary strong nitric acid, it will have a density 1.4 and the containing 65% HNO3. Okay, so this is the types of nitric acid that we can have or we can prepare by doing some reactions. Okay, so these are the topics, that is, we have already discussed about the physical properties of nitric acid as well as the formula and the chemical name and the characteristics of nitric acid, as well as we have done the physical properties and types of nitric acid. Okay, here we have seen the three types of nitric acid, that is the fuming nitric acid, concentrated nitric acid, as well as ordinary strong nitric acid. Okay, so that's it for today. If you have any doubt regarding this topic, you can always ask me in the comment section below. So thank you very much.